Welcome back, everyone, and today we're at one of my favorite local card shows. This is in Columbus or Hilliard, Ohio, and I made this on Sunday. It was the day after Shipshewana, so my pockets were crying, but I still had to go to the card show. Being Sunday was a little bit more relaxed, but let's go ahead and get to the show. All right, thanks. So right off the bat, I headed over to Chappelle's Cards, one of the dealers that I knew was going to be at this show and sets up there consistently. And he's got an amazing inventory. You guys have seen me at his table a lot in some of my previous videos, and a ton of incredible pre-war. You can see these 1913 National Game cards and a whole bunch of Hall of Famers. He's got a lot of unique inventory like this. There's not many people that can help fill sets like this, some of these tougher pre-war issues. And so I always go to look at some of his pre-war and some of his other just rare issue sets. He's someone I've learned an incredible amount from, one of my favorite dealers, and at this point, someone I consider a good friend. So I did start off by grabbing up a few of these National Game Hall of Famers, some of the more mid-tier type guys, with some of the notable names being Tris Speaker and Chief Bender. Then after that, I went over and looked at some of his T206s, and again, a stack full of Hall of Famers. You got lots of the big names. Guys in there like John McGraw, Huey Jennings, lots of recognizable cards in here. So I was looking for some of those. And I didn't end up buying any of these today, but there was still a lot of fun just to flip through. I always like checking to see if he adds anything new to his inventory, because there's always new stuff in there. It seems like every time I'm flipping through these piles. You guys can see some of the sets here stacked up. You got Cracker Jacks, a bunch of caramel sets, like M116s, T205s and 6s, and a whole bunch of other pre-war raw and graded. As you can see, this is just one of his cases. We're going to get to some of the other stuff here in a bit. So I went ahead and ended up setting those back and then grabbing another pile of pre-war, some T205s, digging through that. That didn't really have as many Hall of Famers, so I just kind of quick skim through on those. And then, like I said, just moving on, checking some other pre-war. Lots of his post-war stuff is more displayed in the case, which makes sense. Not as many people go into shows looking for pre-war, so you kind of got to dig a bit. Not really worth filling up your entire display case with it, especially some of those tougher issues. Like I said, they may be low supply, but they're also low demand. So they're great cards for things like eBay, low supply, low demand. Lots of times there's just not a lot of them listed on there. You see me moving on to some of the 33 Goudeys, and this is just loaded with Hall of Famers, and he's got multiple stacks of Hall of Famers in here. So anything you need, lots of these are very nice too, 3s and 4 type condition. Many of them crease free, but it is nice. If you're building a Goudey set, you could go here and pick up almost any card that you would need, and also almost in any condition, some lower grade, but then some up into the very nice, even for raw cards. You can see the color on some of these is really, really nice, which for Goudeys, once you start getting into the, 3s and 4s and up condition, the price can start to skyrocket pretty quick. So I did end up making a trade with him too. I always like bringing around some of my bigger cards, either that I've had for a while or just stuff I think some of the bigger dealers might be interested in. That way it's not as much of a one-way street of buying. I like to give them a chance to buy some stuff off of me too. All the good dealers love buying when they're at shows. Yeah. This one looks...
You get like 3 big cards.
That's... Yeah. Probably should. In an 8. So I did end up making a trade. I sent off my 1960 and 1961 Topps Koufax that I got in a PSA 8. Both of them were very nice new label PSA 8s. And I also added in an N28 Charles Comiskey. The 2 Koufaxes I had gotten the day before, but I knew he likes his higher end stuff, so I figured I'd at least take them up to him. And then the Comiskey I had brought to him before, and he mentioned he might be interested, so I figured I'd go ahead and trade, and I ended up picking this amazing Red Heart Mickey Mantle as well as a 1941 play ball Ted Williams and a strip card Ty Cobb. So some beautiful cards going both ways, but I was happy to, kind of move the Comiskey that I'd had for a few months and some of the Koufaxes that just don't move as quickly for me in high grade. I know he's got lots of clients who prefer some higher end cards. And like I said, I always like to give dealers an opportunity to buy or trade into some new stuff so they have some new inventory when they're able to leave the show.
Sold $4,000 in 2017, sold for 15,000 2 years later.
Yeah, I think he's got like $200 in it, so.
Yeah.
So I already mentioned a little bit of the stuff that I picked up, but we're going to go here through everything I ended up buying or trading for in the day. So you saw me going through some of the stacks, but we got like some T206s with the Home Run Baker, John McGraw, Vic Willis. You guys know I was talking about pre-war. I spent most of the time at Williams' table. I really didn't go to a whole bunch of other tables. I at least walked around the show, but I was kind of in and out pretty quick. Like I said, the day after Shipshawana, I was pretty out of cash, so I grabbed a few things that I wouldn't be able to find other places, and kind of preparing my table for the Nashville show. You guys hopefully already saw that video. This one I wasn't able to get edited until after the fact, but I figured I had to drop the Nashville video as soon as possible. Like I mentioned earlier though, with the 1913 National Games, love this set, and I grabbed a stack of them here. They're just not something you see very often, and have a few of them listed on my eBay store. Lots of them are the only ones listed on eBay. And same with the stuff like this, these strip cards, Dave Bancroft. I got 2 of those here, both in beautiful condition. And an Abe Lincoln, of course, Abe Lincoln strip card. This one was honestly way more expensive than I was expecting. That was like over $100 card for an Abe Lincoln. I didn't really realize strip cards like of presidents and other stuff were worth that much. I know he has some, collectibles that are worth a lot, but I was not aware of strip cards. So I picked up a few, various strip cards, Hall of Famers, and I thought the Lincoln was pretty cool. Here's a nice Paul Waner. That one's pretty sharp condition. A 38 Gaudy Al Lopez. The 40 play ball Christy Mathewson, you saw me looking up. But that Al Lopez, he's in pretty great shape. I mean, you don't often see 38 Gaudis in that type of shape. Here's a better look at the Mathewson, though. Pretty good centering on him. 48 Bowmans, I grabbed a few of these kind of at the last second. He had some stars. These weren't really in any of the stack videos that I got, but grabbed these on the way out. And I did make some purchases from a couple other dealers. JD, if you guys do know who JD is, he's the promoter who puts on the show, and he's also a dealer with a fantastic vintage inventory. Does a lot of helping people with set building. So I grabbed some from him on the way out. We'll get to some of those cards. 52 Mignoso. This one was really, really nice, especially for a raw card. The back is a little bit off center, but the front presents very well. No creases or anything like that in it. 52 tops. I mean, they just sell every time, so I always pick those up if I can. Nice low to mid-level Hall of Famers and stars. 53 Bowman Yogi Berra, one of the most popular cards from that set. The high number short print John Padres, that's a rookie card. That one's always worth a decent amount. And then back to the awesome Red Heart mantle that we took a look at earlier in the video. You guys can see the color on this one. I mean, great looking card. This thing is awesome. It does have a bit of a bend in it, but I mean, who really cares? This, I believe, is the first Red Heart mantle I bought. I consigned one of my dad's when he was selling off his collection, but this is the first one I personally bought, and the thing's gorgeous. And here's a 66, it looks like a 66 tops, but it's actually the OPG, another card that I haven't really had before, just one of the many rare cards at this show. That's why it's such a great local show. So I picked that one up. And then here's some of the cards I ended up buying from JD. So I'll set up the Red Heart mantle there, and got two more mix, got a 58 and a 68 tops. This 58 one is in Chris Sewell's Run Over by a Truck division, but that one is, it is what it is. It's a mantle card. And a 68 with a little bit of sun fading, but that's, can't go wrong with any mantles at all. And JD, his son, also throws some of his stuff in the case. So another strip card I picked up from him, a nice Tris speaker to go along with the Ty Cobb I ended up trading for. So both of those are from the same W551 set, and I mean, they look gorgeous next to each other. Two of the better cards from the set. And strip cards are great. There's not many times you can get some of these big names for the prices that you're going to get with strip cards. You can get Tris speakers for $100, $75, $150. And there's, of course, the beautiful 1941 play ball Ted Williams that I showed a little bit earlier in the video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It all helps the channel grow, and I'll see you guys next time.